What up, everybody? Thanks for joining the Bourbon, Buzzed, and Ballin podcast. This is episode 17. 17. We're going to go a little bit different today. As you know, we like to just talk sports in general. We like to talk current events or, NFL, college. But today we're just going to kind of go off the cuff a little bit.
That's right. We're going to go unscripted.
Unscripted. We'll probably still follow our normal...
we're gonna toast. We're gonna scumbag. We're gonna come in hot. But then after that,
we don't
wherever the combo takes us.
That's right. We don't really have a scripted format today, so we might just get on one topic and just rail away.
Go the whole segment. The whole that's episode. Right. I got us on the clock tonight so that we don't just sit here and ramble for 2-3 hours like we've been known to.
We've been known to ramble and extend the podcast out a little bit.
So we're gonna just see where the convo takes us.
All right, let's do it. Why don't you bring us? Why don't you go ahead and toast?
All right, yeah. Obviously, we like to start with an opening toast, and this week I'm gonna be a homer. I'm gonna toast my boy.
I wouldn't expect no less.
Tua is shutting them fucking haters up.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks, he's thrown for 969 yards, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Yeah.
The great Dan Marino never did that with the Dolphins.
All right.
His passer rating over the 3 weeks was like a 137. His PFF rating like a 96.
The PFF's loving him.
This last weekend, the fans at the stadium were chanting MVP. Right. MVP. He's actually moved up to second best odds in the MVP race. Right. He's tied with another homer, Jalen. Him and Jalen are at plus 400. And Mahomes is leading the way at plus 150. They just jumped your boy, Josh.
Yeah, he's had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, 4 interceptions in the red zone the last 2 weeks, and I'm sure we'll get into it when we start talking. Of course, this is unscripted, so we're gonna go off script. But I think the elbow definitely played a factor in this weekend's game. He still put up mad numbers.
Yeah, he still did good, but he had 2 turnovers in the red zone before the elbow too.
Yeah, last week. Right. But I'm saying this week he was airmailing some passes. It just didn't seem like the accuracy was there. But anyway, back to my toast. We'll get to your boy later. Oh, and I almost forgot the biggest reason I'm toasting him. He led my fantasy team to a victory over your fantasy team.
He picked on me a week with my boy. Listen, Taylor hasn't done, but he's had 1 week. Week 1, didn't do nothing. I am the Bama of fantasy football. Everybody shows up to play me with their best game. It's all good. I can afford to lose. I've won.
Yeah, I needed to win a lot more than you did. But anyway, back to Tua. Proud of that young man. He, blocked out all the noise over the last 2 years, and he deserves what he's getting. Yeah. And he is really, there's still some people doubting him. It's still giving all the credit to McDaniel and Tyreek Hill
and Jalen. The offense for sure. I've heard that, but the PFFs and some of the other.
You can't argue with the stats. He's like first in
there.
He's first in fourth quarter passer efficiency, first in red zone completion. He leads in so many.
They're giving him his just due.
He is starting to get his props.
To get his just due.
And it's either him or Patrick Mahomes leading in just about every quarterback category.
He's still being called somewhat of a game manager or more of a distributor, but.
Right.
Is that really a bad thing in the NFL? Should he be apologizing for their team trading for the Cheetah?
Absolutely.
And Jalen Waddle getting separation and him distributing the ball.
Every quarterback needs it's a team game. You need weapons. Josh wasn't Josh until he got Diggs. Aaron Rodgers ain't Aaron Rodgers no more because he ain't got Devontae. So,
He showed a little spark
Sunday. Yeah, they had a good game this week.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with Tua. And the fact I would like to piggyback off that and give McDaniel a little toast too. Because Tua needed a coach that designed his offense around him.
He did.
Made
to
trades to support him,
Yeah.
and then gets behind him in the media. And he doesn't just say stuff to support him; he shows stuff to support.
There's 3 first-year head coaches that are killing it this year. Your boy over there in Minnesota got them Vikes 8-1.
8-1.
And that was one hell of a game, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more after we get to toasting the scumbag out of the week. But he's 8-1. You got Dabble, my boy in New York.
Yeah.
He's 7-2. They're in second place, and you got Mike McDaniel in Miami. They're in first place. So Minnesota's in first, Miami's in first, and the Giants are in second, all with first-year head coaches.
Right.
That's a hell of a and that's who I was almost gonna toast to tonight was those 3 men.
Yeah, but then you got the other half of those first-year head coaches that aren't doing so well.
That's why it was like, let me just I'll just be a homer tonight and go with Tua. So who you toasting tonight?
I'm gonna toast linebacker for the Buccaneers, Devin White.
Okay.
Devin White was on the tarmac, just about to board the airplane, and finds out to Germany
Yep.
for the game against the Seahawks, and he finds out that his 45-year-old father passed away.
Damn, at 45, did they say what he died of?
I think Devin White wears 45 too.
He does.
That's a little irony.
That is ironic.
No, they haven't found, no cause has been announced yet, and I just found it, and he had a good game. He had 9 solos.
He has a good game every week.
He had a forced fumble. He even made a play in the pass defense, which he very rarely makes a play in coverage.
Right.
But that's always been his biggest knock.
I'm sure he was playing with a heavy heart and wanting to really show out for his dad.
Yeah, no, I mean his statement was something to the effect that, he knew he had a job to do, and him and his dad had talked before about always, putting things aside and doing the job that you're being paid to do. And so obviously he was raised correctly. His father left a legacy with him, and he followed through with that, even with a heavy heart.
Devin's an LSU boy, right?
He is an LSU kid.
That's what I was thinking.
So I thought I would I would give him some props, because I felt like that was ultra professional.
Yeah.
And I think, we've all played sports, team sports. You know how therapeutic your teammates can be in times of need. So
well, I mean, that's your extended family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your extended family. So it is therapeutic, and so Well, let's raise our glasses to Tua, to Devin, and to them 3 coaches we mentioned.
Yeah.
And
good toast.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
What you sipping on tonight?
Yours looks different. It might be. So I got mine neat. I got Hardin's Creek.
Okay.
Jim Beam product.
Yeah. We rated that on one of the early episodes. I think
we did. I want to say we rated it a 3.
That's what I'm thinking. It was a 3. It
sure
wasn't
it
a
was a
neat.
3.
I know it wasn't a neat.
It's got a little kick to it. Got a little hug. It's a standard bourbon. I don't feel like it doesn't have the complexity that we tend to fall for when it goes to giving it a 4 on our rating system.
Yeah, I think that's what I remember about it.
And yours, obviously, you're drinking.
Well, I'm sipping on some Haterade.
Some Haterade.
Yes, Tua asked me to drink the Haterade for all the haters tonight.
It is kind of got a green hue to it, a little Dolphins color.
Now, actually, since this is the unscripted episode, I wanted a drink that I could enjoy throughout the show. So this is one of my aged old fashions.
I did a barrel.
Out of my barrel. I did a TikTok. If anybody hadn't seen it, go to TikTok at Bourbon, Buzzed and Ballin.
Yep.
And you can look up where I show how to do this aged old fashioned, and they really got nice taste to them.
That's good.
We got TikToks on there on just a regular old fashioned and a smoked old fashioned, and of course the aged old fashioned, which is what I decided to go with tonight. So check out the TikToks and give us a like on there.
That tastes really good.
But it's quick and easy. You have it in the barrel, and whenever you're ready for it,
boom,
turn that tap.
Yeah, and it's just got such an interesting flavor. Mm-hmm.
And this one, it's probably not aged as long as I would have preferred, but I was thirsty.
Right. There you go.
So that's what I'm drinking. All right, well, let's move on to our scumbag of the week.
All right.
And I know you kind of deferred to me on this one.
Yeah, I mean,
you did get one.
I got one.
I was thinking that you said you didn't have one, but then I do remember you did have one.
They always show themselves, you know, and my scumbag came out today. Okay. I mean, this is a breaking story from Yahoo Sports, and it's an off the wall sport. Obviously, it's the Paralympic sports, but there's a gold medalist swimmer in the Paralympics, Robert Griswold. He was actually accused of rape and sexually assaulting one of his teammates, who is, I mean, I don't really even want to get into the reason why that they're competing in the Paralympics, but this was a 19-year-old kid, you know, who's basically autistic, and they said he has the mentality of a 5-year-old, and this guy has been preying on him for months, and a witness came in and witnessed the abuse that was going on, and this is 2 males, and so you can imagine, I'm not going to go into details, but
that's a definite scumbag.
I would follow this story.
You know what? That guy's such a scumbag that I'm going to downgrade mine. Mine's not really a scumbag. I just felt like, and mine was going to be Jim Irsay, but I can't follow up Mr. Griswold over there. So Griswold, you're our piece of shit scumbag of the week.
I mean, that's low down.
I can't even.
Dude's got cerebral palsy, and he's praying. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss for words.
Between that one and you got the shooting at University of Virginia.
Yeah, we could have gone that way.
We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. But yeah, let's just say that this dude here, Griswold, is the scumbag of the week.
Crazy, man.
So what we'll do is let's just jump into coming in hot.
All right.
Because, one of
Irsay is going to come up in
our
biggest topic.
Exactly. One of the biggest things that happened this past week was with the Indianapolis Colts. Jim Irsay fired Frank Reich, which had a winning record. I mean, he was successful with the Colts, but he just couldn't get over that hump. And this season,
good offensive coordinator. Yeah,
they say he might go back to might go to the Eagles because, Sirianni at the Eagles was an assistant on Reich's staff. So he might return the favor and bring him in, and that'd be a hell of an addition to the Eagles. But get back to Irsay. You're the owner of the team. You can do whatever you want to. But to bring in somebody that had 0 college experience, 0 pro experience, and I'm talking any level of coaching, not 0 head coaching experience, not 0 offensive coordinator. He wasn't even a position coach in college. His only coaching experience is at the high school level.
Right. And that was
he actually has turned down, and we're talking about Jeff Saturday, obviously, who was a tremendous player for the Colts.
Right.
And he has worked as an analyst with the staff. He had turned down coaching opportunities to come in as an assistant coach with the Colts.
Right.
Because he had the analyst job on ESPN.
Right, and he wanted to
spend time with his family. Exactly.
Right.
So I got no problem with Saturday taking that opportunity. I just feel like Irsay kind of went around the whole system as far as, you got all these assistant coaches that have been with you through training camp, through the whole season. You got 2 former head coaches on your staff in Bradley and John Fox.
Right.
You have Reggie Wayne, who was, I think he's in their Ring of Honor. He's on the staff. That's a chance to promote a minority coach, give him the interim job. So I didn't, like I said, I got no problem with Saturday. He actually came out and won his first game.
Yeah.
Of course it was just against the Raiders, but.
Right, but made a change to quarterback.
And I think that was huge, that he went back to Ryan, because Ellinger obviously is. Right.
Well, let me throw this at you.
Okay.
So So I have a different take. Obviously, I don't really have much of a take with Irsay and what he does, because he's a billionaire and basically can do what he chooses to do. And apparently, the NFL was on board.
Well, at the interim, because he's an interim coach, there's no rules. Now, at the end of the year, he can't elevate him to the head coach
without going through
the whole Rooney Rule and all that stuff.
Right,
so
exactly.
He was able to do this because it's an interim position in the middle of the season.
Right. So here's his resume, in my opinion. He's a 13-year veteran player. Mm-hmm. He's a former All-Pro, 6-time, Ring of Honor for the Colts. Great football player. Obviously, great orator, speaker. He was an analyst, and I liked his analysis, and I liked his personality on TV. So I feel like his resume, I could give two rats' asses about former coaches and the fact that they have former coaching experience. Look at all these first-year coaches struggling with coaching experience.
Right.
So that to me is an alter argument to all of it. It's like,
it's a crapshoot.
So you're bringing some experience to the table as a coach. That doesn't make you a good coach. He's bringing experience as a player. That doesn't make him a good coach, but that's also going to bring instant respect in the locker room.
It's still, I think that's where you're taking the biggest risk, is with the coaches you already have on staff, with the players, and how are they going to respond to you look at it like a business. You have these people that have worked their way up the management ladder. They're managers, they're VPs, they're presidents, they're seniors. They've progressed up the ladder. You're going to hire the mailboy to come be the CEO.
Well, that's a little critical. I mean, this is a 13-year NFL veteran, All-Pro. I mean,
just because you played does not mean you can coach.
Usually, he's got street cred, man. So he's got instant street cred. And that's like apples to oranges. I know what you're saying,
right?
But I mean, this dude has been there. He's been in the locker room.
He has.
You're telling me.
Well, the mailboy's been in every office.
Offensive linemen in my opinion, are some of the smartest brains on the football team. They always have been. That's a general statement, but I believe we could back that up with some proof if we dug into it. O linemen are smarter than D linemen.
Oh yeah, they are.
O linemen are smart.
But
this guy,
name me some former O linemen that are successful head coaches.
Well, I can't go through Andy Reid. Boom. Right off the top. Andy Reid.
He was like a 7-foot punt passing kid.
Andy Reid. That's all he said was, name me a former O-lineman. It doesn't matter about former. This is current. Jeff Saturday, you're telling me he learned nothing in 13 years?
No, I'm not saying that.
He can apply what he learned on the field, on the job, snapping the ball to Peyton Manning. He played some center. So.
I'm not. Like I said, I'm not.
I feel like dude's resume.
Like I said, I'm
fine.
not going against Saturday. I'm just saying the way that Irsay did it. He's lucky that he didn't have a mutiny on his hand. He's lucky that he does have those professional coaches that have been there and been through the trenches and been head coaches for Saturday to lean on.
Well, perhaps he spoke to them prior too.
Yeah, and who knows? I doubt it, knowing Irsay, because in his press conference he said, "Well, I don't know how to make sausage, but I know how to build a football team."
Right. All I got to say is, if your qualifications is prior coaching, talk to me about Urban Meyer. Talk to me about Bobby Petrino, Rod Marinelli, Lou Holtz, Steve Spurrier, and the list goes on and on. All these guys were prior coaches, failed.
You talking about failed in the NFL? I was going to say none of them were failures. They all got championships.
No, they failed in the NFL. Yeah. Lou Holtz failed in the NFL. Steve Spurrier failed in the NFL. I mean, I could keep naming.
I mean, you could do that on both sides of the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, these are some of these are recent, some of these are prior. I took a little delve into the list.
I thought this was supposed to be unscripted. You over there with notes?
Well, I had Urban Meyer and Bobby Petrino off the top of my head. Lou Holtz for sure.
No, I mean, I think it. That's a whole nother discussion when you're talking about successful college coaches then going into the pro, because and that's what makes being a head coach
prior experience.
No, but listen, that's what makes being a head coach in the pros so difficult, because there's only so many. I mean, these guys have to be. They get there at 4 a.m. and don't leave until 11 o'clock at night. I mean, they're only at home for like 4 hours. I mean, what you have to put in to be a head coach in the NFL, most people just can't comprehend that. And
no, it's a lifestyle. I get it. But at the same time, if I'm Jim Irsay and I got this guy right here that already delivered me a championship as a player.
Well, he's got others on the staff that did that too.
Yeah, but
that are in the building with these players, already built the relationship with these players.
But that doesn't necessarily mean they're a better coach than Jeff Saturday, just because they're in the building.
Who knows what kind of coach Jeff Saturday is? He's never coached.
We're gonna find out, aren't we?
We are.
I'm just saying the man's resume is decent enough to give him a shot at. I mean, I don't think you need to delve into your assistant coaches just because if it's your business and this is the guy that you're going to ride with.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out.
I mean, the players are going to play for the coach. I mean, if he comes in and he's going to earn instant player respect because he's a former player. I believe that wholeheartedly. I've never been in an NFL locker room, so I can't really speak intelligently on that. But I believe wholeheartedly that he's got instant respect from the players. And to me, that is the hurdle. It's not the assistant coaches.
Well, I think you got to have the buy-in from the assistant coaches too.
Well, I think moving forward you do.
Yeah.
Moving forward you definitely do. But hell, it's a new coaching staff. There's going to be some turnover in the off season. So, you know, if Saturday gets the job, there's going to definitely be some turnover.
Right.
So, that's about all I got to say about that. I like him. I like Jeff Saturday.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, like I said, I got nothing against Jeff Saturday. And if I was offered it, I would have taken it too if I was Saturday.
Absolutely.
But I just think that it was a huge risk the way that Irsay did it.
I just, I know Cowher called it a disgrace to coaching.
Cowher, I didn't agree.
Cowher, he almost started crying over the whole deal. I mean, I think obviously he's going to side with a lot of assistant coaches that supposedly got passed over, for this, but still yet. I mean, it's clearly a shock. It was definitely
I think that was part of it too, because Irsay, he was the one who came out against Daniel Snyder. I think he kind of likes that, dropping that shock.
He wants to be in the limelight.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I liked Reich, but he wasn't getting it done this year, and
it's going to be an interesting story to follow.
It is.
Definitely be interesting to follow. What else you got? You want to move on from that?
Let's move on from that. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but let's follow up with some more coming in hot news out of Virginia.
Yeah.
The former University of Virginia running back firing into a bus, killing 3 current University of Virginia football players. And
one of them was a local product to the Charlotte
up the road from us. Mm-hmm. Actually, Huntersville, Cornelius.
Huff High School.
It's
a DB, I think. I think he came out as a DB, and now he's a wideout. Or it might be vice versa. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, it was sad. Sad story. Of course, I think they've apprehended him. And,
they got him in custody. I hadn't heard any kind of motive or, why was he, was it something personal?
I didn't know it was into a bus. I know it was in supposedly in a parking deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 other people were also hit, but wasn't fatal. So I tell you, man, between some of this shit with like our scumbag over there doing that kind of shit and all
It's a crazy world.
All these people. I mean, it makes you not even want to leave the house. I mean,
definitely a crazy world. I mean, the stories seems to be getting crazier and crazier. I know we could kind of get political moving forward on that kind of discussion, but it's really scary. Makes you think twice for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. You got anything else coming in hot?
No, I mean, it's kind of as far as the news goes in the sporting world, I mean, I know we got the USA in the World Cup.
Yeah,
that's about to start.
Getting ready to start.
I think our final roster finalized tonight, so I don't even know the final roster. I do know that we drew a crazy pool. We got England, Wales, and Iran in our pool play, and
of course,
we'll be lucky to win a game.
One of the best men's teams that we've had in a while.
Oh yeah, clearly
there's some young talent on that squad.
It's been a while for us, but I mean we're
not a soccer country.
Well, no, I mean we're getting that way, but we're up against one of the better teams, England, and then Wales has Gareth Bale. So yeah. I mean we'll be lucky to win a game. That was a tough draw.
Well, it makes you wonder, and let's just go ahead and go unscripted.
Well, I've been unscripted. I just had a couple notes to keep me.
And since we're just gonna chill and drink,
I might should have.
I'm gonna fire up the stove.
I might should have gone a little bigger pour.
Yeah.
Bigger pour.
I said we're not a soccer country, but with some of the concussions, the image of Tua on the ground. Now this weekend you had Juju
Schuster. He shot the arm out.
He did the fencer's pose or whatever it's called. Hell, the kid from Ole Miss that had his head spun around 360 by Alabama. I mean, right. Parents start seeing these kind of injuries. Do they start steering their kids to other sports?
Clearly, I mean, football, a few years ago, football was the NFL. They were doing their grassroots efforts on youth football. I mean, they clearly have seen a reduction in youth football players. I mean, and then, you can definitely see that the local flag football has increased.
Right.
Lacrosse has increased.
I'm surprised. I'm not quite seeing it in baseball like I thought I would.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is weird, and that's something that I would want to get on the soapbox about one of these days is travel baseball and all this select baseball that's going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, baseball is definitely kind of, it's considered still America's game, but honestly, football is America's game.
I think the only people that calls it America's game is baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, well, I mean,
I think you see more of the better younger athletes getting into tennis and golf than you do baseball and soccer. No, that could change.
I mean, soccer's grown. Immensely. I mean, it really has. And so, I mean, we're in the World Cup. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a feather in the cap, and that's an indication that soccer is growing in this country. So, baseball is just boring.
It is.
It's It's boring as a viewer, and I love baseball. That was my sport. So I could admit, it's boring. So I definitely think some of these smaller sports are growing in this country. Golf, clearly, Tiger Woods introduced a lot of people to golf.
Well, and the money associated with
Yeah.
what you can win, and now you got the Live Tour, so
yeah,
that might even send more people that way.
Yeah, the Live Tour just announced they're going to be in Australia for, I think, the first event of next year, and that's coming with a lot of controversy.
I was going to say, I just saw with the Live in Australia, that makes me think of Greg Norman.
Well, Greg Norman's the CEO.
I know, but I was seeing some headlines about he might be out.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Greg Norman actually was my favorite golfer at one point, but I mean, he's a genuine POS. Really, honestly, some of his opinions are. I mean, he's like, it's almost like he's after the PGA Tour, and I don't know the true motivation behind that.
Right.
But I mean, he's coming after the PGA, which we've talked about the Live versus the PGA, and I actually like what the Live Tour is doing for the PGA, but it is kind of diluting down a little bit at the superstar level. Mm-hmm. The top 10, top 20. So hopefully we do, the major events do recognize that and do allow Live points to accumulate and do allow these top world golfers back into the majors.
Yeah, make it a more competitive event.
Yeah, got to. I tell you what, we can move on from the World Cup. I mean, I think we go over in the World Cup. I mean, I could see us maybe dueling for a tie. We could maybe sneak a tie out.
Yeah.
Maybe an upset of Iran. Mm-hmm. But I don't see us standing a chance against England or Wales. Nah, them countries have been playing football for too long. But let's talk about the catches, man.
Oh yeah,
about those catches.
Justin Jefferson. He's got to be the best wide receiver in the NFL right now.
I mean, but Diggs
had a hell of a catch too. But
Justin
Jefferson, and I'm an Odell boy.
Yeah.
And Odell's catch was for a touchdown, but that freaking catch that Justin Jefferson made. With one hand, the defender had two hands on the ball.
Two hands.
JJ had one, went down with it. It's about this far from the ground, and
I don't know how he kept it
4
from
inches
even hitting the ground.
I think because the defender still had contact with the ball. I think that's what kept it.
Right.
But that's got to be.
Oh, it's
that.
It's that. Well, I think Diggs.
It's in contention for the greatest catch ever.
Diggs had the best catch of the year until Jefferson,
mm-hmm.
and then Jefferson's catch clearly is going to rival Odell's.
Yeah.
And then
Jefferson's was a 4th and 18.
4th and 18, and
so,
it was to keep them
in the game
to win. They lose if they don't have
right. So his catch was worth more because Odell's was a touchdown, and Odell's I think kind of was the first.
Yeah, I think it was the first.
But that catch by Jefferson, and of course, what they have in common.
LSU, yeah.
Those, you throw Jamar Chase. I mean, those LSU wideouts.
Oh, they're clearly wide receiver U. Mm. They are clearly wide receiver U. That's not even a discussion at this point.
But yeah, that catch and that game.
It was a great game. It's a great game. I wish I had a Justin Jefferson's jersey. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, you might have to get one of those.
I might have to get one of them.
Even if you get the China knockoff.
Oh man, I don't care. I ain't too proud. $35 versus $150. I ain't too proud. Yeah, no, that was a great game, man. It was crazy, man. If you hadn't seen that game, you definitely need to try to find that game.
I was glad though that
on replay.
I was glad that Minnesota was able to win it because they kind of got screwed.
Yeah, right.
The one catch, I think it was Gabe Davis on the sideline.
It was.
That they didn't review it.
I know. Inside of 2 minutes,
it should have come from the booth up above
automatically.
Yeah, it should have been an automatic. I mean, even I know. Josh had him to the line and was rushing them. You got to stop that game.
Yeah.
That was too important of a play.
Very important.
and at least say, hey, let's take a look. So, they got screwed there. There was another play where Buffalo had 12 guys on the field and didn't get called.
Yeah.
So I'm glad the football gods came through and gave Minnesota the game. But, I mean, you can go back to Minnesota having it 4th and goal from the 1 foot line, run a quarterback keep, and don't get anywhere. So they turn it over on downs. The very next play, Josh Allen takes the snap, fumbles it in the end zone. Minnesota falls on it.
Yeah, I wonder
for the touchdown.
I mean, it was just had a little something to do with the elbow.
Probably.
I kind of think they shot him up.
Well, no, they said they weren't going to.
I know,
because they wanted to make sure he could feel it, and if it was an issue, I never saw him grimace a single time.
He did when he tried to slap that. When he threw that pick and he tried to slap the ball, as I forget who picked it now, but he made the tackle.
Patrick Peterson.
Was it the Pat Pete?
Well, I know Pete had 2 of them.
Well, it must have been Pat Pete then, obviously.
Both of the ones in the end zone were Peterson.
Yeah, well, on one of the plays, he slapped at Pat Pete as he was falling, and you could tell his elbow was hurting. But, the overthrows and his inaccuracy at times.
Like I said earlier,
I think it had a little something to do with no feel. And then the fumble, it was like he had no feel because it was a great snap.
Yeah.
It hit him in the hands.
Right in the hands. But it just...
And he really didn't really leave early. I don't want to say he didn't pull out. He didn't pull out early. But he didn't leave early, and he still fumbled.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he had a little injection, man.
I hope not. Because that could screw up his whole career. And he's too young. If you got to sit the man to get him right, sit him and get him right. He's got his whole career ahead of him, and I'm sure the competitor in him is saying, "Coach, I'm fine. I'm good. I can go. I'm good."
Sure.
Sometimes the coaches and the trainers have to protect the players from themselves.
Sure,
and we've mentioned that before on the podcast.
With Tua, and I mean Josh even came out kind of like Tua did when he first came back. He was running to prove something. Mm-hmm. Josh was running to prove something. He looked good, had good stats.
He did have good stats, but there were some throws during that game, like you said, there were some high throws, some wide throws. It just didn't look like Josh Allen.
Diggs' great catch bailed him out on a high throw. Exactly. Only 2 receivers make that catch.
I think there's still something going on in that elbow, and I hope they don't push that young man too far because he's got too much talent, too great of a career in front of him.
Yeah, McDermott, listen to him. I need him.
I know.
I need Josh.
And I know that doesn't help your fantasy team, but we talking real life here.
Yep. No.
And this young man's career, right now he's 1A, 1B. Between him and Mahomes, you got to figure that those are the 2 best QBs in the NFL.
Yeah.
And
Justin Fields might have something to say about that. He's coming on.
Yeah, Justin Fields.
He's top 5 in the last few weeks for sure.
That's only because of the running.
Yeah.
And
it's a big part of today's game.
Well, but it also can lead to a short career.
Can.
So, I just ask RG3.
Sure. I don't know. Do we start talking about Justin Fields as a top 5 fantasy quarterback through the remainder of the year?
If they're gonna keep running him like that, I mean, he's been number 1 he's got damn near 100 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for a fantasy quarterback,
he actually threw 2 yesterday. He had a little bit better day throwing the ball than he did last week. To my tight end.
I mean, he's a hell of an athlete. He's got. I mean, he was could have gone pro baseball.
Right.
He's got an arm. It's just.
He's just
once he puts it all together. I mean,
footwork is an issue, and he's raw for sure.
And he really doesn't have a lot of experience.
No,
because he didn't play at Georgia.
Right.
And he had 1 year at Ohio State?
1 year at Ohio State.
So, I mean, he's just going off of just being a tremendous athlete.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you put him with the right coaches that can harness all that. Sky's the limit for this kid.
Yeah, because he's definitely got arm talent. You know, he's got size
and speed,
and the speed. And his running ability. You know, he's definitely Cam Newton 2.0. Not quite as big.
He's not as big, but he's faster.
Yeah, he's faster. He's not as big.
And I think he actually can be a better passer than Cam.
Yeah.
You know, Cam was never very accurate.
No, but Cam had arm strength, superior arm strength.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He made up for his inaccuracy, but Cam's inaccuracy was footwork and throwing motion. Justin Fields actually has a good throwing motion. He's got the working parts, you know.
Has that baseball in him.
He's got good mechanics, man. He just, I think from what I've read is he's a little sluggish in the head in terms of
preparing and
pre-snap and post-snap. And that's a big deal. I mean, a lot of that some of that can be taught.
That's kind of what they say about Kyler. Remember with the whole putting the studying clause in his contract and.
Well, that's another.
You know,
let's talk about Kyler.
Well, when you're that gifted, and it's so easy in Pee-wee, in high school, in college, you don't learn to have to put in that extra studying and this and that. And I think that catches up with them because it has come so easy to them just because of their God-given physical abilities.
Right. He just outruns people.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
And he's got a great arm. And he's good off schedule. I mean, he's great off schedule. He's great outside the pocket.
Right.
You know?
Well, and a lot of times those quarterbacks are better.
They are better
when the play breaks down.
For sure. That's what he is. He's an off-schedule quarterback. But look at the Cardinals' success with McCoy.
Yeah.
McCoy, I don't know, but
Now, there was an article in USA Today about this is Colt McCoy's job to lose. I mean, I don't buy that.
I mean, they looked better as a team. I don't know, and I think Colt McCoy's like 3-4-1 or something like that.
Well, I mean,
as a starter,
we could take this to Dallas too.
Yeah,
Dallas would look better with Cooper Rush than with Dak.
Well, I don't know if yesterday was just a blip. I didn't watch that game.
If you look at the stats and the numbers,
yeah.
Cooper did better than Dak, but I mean, do you think Cooper's a better quarterback? I mean, do you think Colt's? It's hard to say.
I mean, I certainly think given the offenses that they play in, that the offense is more geared towards Kyler Murray than a Colt McCoy. But I think Dak and Cooper Rush are similar type quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, hell, I've been hearing Cliff's Kingsbury's name floated around going back to college.
Yeah, I can definitely see them moving off of him soon. And I mean, I've never been a Kyler Murray fan anyway. I don't look at him as a top 5 quarterback. He's certainly getting paid top 5 money, but he's not even really top 15 quarterback. I mean, I 10 to 15 is a little bit of a stretch, but
he's probably 10 to 15 because
yeah.
In that, you're looking at right around that 10 range. You're looking at Dak, you're looking at Kirk Cousins, you're looking at
Stafford. Actually, Stafford's a little higher than 10 in my book, pre-elbow.
I was gonna say it depends on whether you're looking at kind of the body of work or you looking at just this year. So that's a whole that's a whole nother debate.
Yeah, no, definitely not this year, but for sure. I mean, I don't know. I like Colt McCoy.
I mean, there's a lot of good young. I mean, look at the good young quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, it's loaded.
I mean, Mahomes, Tua, Burrow, Herbert, Jalen Hurts,
Josh
Allen. I mean, that's 6 right there.
Yeah.
And we didn't even count the goats. Rodgers and Brady,
the old brass that's going
Stafford.
out. But you still got some young ones. You got Mac. Mac is good. I think Mac Jones, he's obviously not having a big year, but he's still a decent quarterback.
I'm not sold on Mac.
You got what's his name in the Jets?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Got some potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a changing of the guard.
I did see an interesting mock today.
Bryce, number 1 overall.
Yeah, Bryce has moved up the ladder.
Yeah, we probably saw the same
I'm
mock.
sure
It had Bryce 1 and it had Will Anderson
Will 2. That would be an interesting draft.
Yeah, but I don't want Bryce going to Houston.
Yeah, I mean, he's
not
going to go to
I still think that kid, given some time, the Houston Texans quarterback.
Oh, Davis Mills?
Yes, I still think he's... Yeah, and another one we didn't mention, Daniel Jones. Look what Geno Smith is doing.
Right.
This far into his career. And Colt McCoy. I mean, sometimes some quarterbacks just might take a little longer. Might have to be in the right system, the right situation. You never know.
No. I mean, you definitely sometimes the light bulb goes off at some point. Some guys don't.
Of course, Geno didn't look good in Germany.
No, and I mean, Geno's been riding high. Maybe he's starting to come back down to earth. Who knows? I haven't watched him close enough to know whether or not what he was doing early was just a blip. Have they figured him out?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around long enough that you would expect.
I mean, he always had arm talent. I mean, even at West Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a high draft pick coming out of college. Because he did. I actually thought what he's doing now was what he was going to do coming into the league. But you just don't ever know. It's.
Yeah, I saw where the Panthers going to go back to Baker.
I was going to mention that.
Go back to Baker.
Well, they're not going back to Baker because of Baker.
PJ's hurt.
PJ's got a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, that sucks for PJ.
Yeah, because he's done decent.
I think he's 2-1, isn't he?
It's either 2-1 or 2-2. I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
because he split with the Falcons, which he should have won the first one.
Yeah, they should have won.
If
field
DJ
goal.
leaves his helmet on.
Yeah, true. Or just make the damn extra
or make
point.
the extra point. So they split that. He just beat the Saints, so that's 2-1.
Got his ass beat by the Bengals.
So it's 2-2.
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah. No, I think, and Darnold's back.
I read something today that said they want to at least get him some playing time. They want to see. He hasn't had a chance to run this Joe Judge offense. Not Joe Judge. Ben McDonald. It's two former Giants coaches. So
Yeah.
Joe Judge went back to the Patriots.
If you hadn't asked me,
And it's Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo. I said Ben McDonald.
Couple of giant bums.
Right, yeah, a couple of
giant bums.
Speaking of first-time head coaches, that
Yeah.
I'm pulling for you, Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, Judge and McAdoo.
But yeah,
which one was the porn stash one?
That was McAdoo.
McAdoo, yeah. I mean, his offense, golly, but
Yeah.
PJ's been running it pretty good.
Yeah.
PJ's been running it.
So they were saying, that Darnold hadn't really had a chance to run it, and they'd like to see. I mean, because they got some decisions to make at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I still think they got to go quarterback in the draft because I don't think any of the three
Oh yeah,
are a long-term answer. But they still need to, get Darnold on the field. I mean, Baker's had his chance.
Now they're still pissing away their draft though. They're winning,
Right,
losing,
yeah.
winning, losing,
Yeah.
winning,
Yeah,
losing.
so-
Come on, make up your mind. I don't. Tanking is out of the cards for sure. I mean, it's a interim coach and players want to win. I get it, but
I mean, you're
they
a
are.
professional. I mean,
They're screwing with their draft a little bit.
It is screwing up their draft pick, but I mean, you gotta try to win your games.
Well, I mean, it's deep.
Because the players, you're putting shit on film.
Sure.
You're on tape. Even if you might not be a Panther next year, you're putting.
Right.
That's your resume. That's
Sure.
your resume. So you can't be putting out shitty film, or you're not going to have a job next year.
Right.
So I'm gonna go. Since we unscripted, I'm gonna go even off the sports right now. Because Friday night, I went and it was a Maker's Mark ambassador event. It was a launch for a private barrel for the Ballin Hotel in Charlotte. And they had a gentleman there hand rolling cigars, which is what I'm enjoying right now. For all our bourbon drinkers, if you have an opportunity to go do something like that, I highly recommend it. Had a great time. Had some great bourbon, great cigars, socializing. It was just...
I saw a few pictures. He did have a good time.
maybe a little too good of a time.
He did have a good time.
But no,
the bourbon was flowing.
Oh, it was
trays of old fashions.
All you could drink, and they were giving away prizes, door prizes, and it was just a good time. I want to do it again. I mean, I'm ready to go to another one, but I do recommend if you have a chance to go to, one of these type of events. Do it. Go do it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it did. It looked like a good time for sure. Makers is a good, solid name, solid bourbon.
I found out while I was there talking to some of the other people that were there, Woodford had just done one about a month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been a fun one to go to also. So
that would have been top notch.
Yeah.
Woodford does everything pretty high class.
Yeah.
So Makers, what Makers was the original weeded bourbon, right?
Makers, they're kind of the ones that broke,
pioneered.
They pioneered it, broke off from the rye.
The grandson wanted a smoother bourbon,
a little sweeter.
Yeah,
not quite so medicinal.
So he went with the wheat in the mash bill and kind of changed,
kind of revolutionized.
Yeah.
And now,
it was totally against his family, because the family didn't really want it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, don't mess with my original recipe. Now this is what built this distillery. But now it's more, you go in the liquor store now and the weeded section is the full wall, and then the rye section is like maybe a couple of shelves.
Yeah, you definitely have to look for the rye. Of course, as a bourbon aficionado, the rye is the original, so you have to, I feel like you have to have a taste for the rye. Don't have to be a bourbon, to enjoy a bourbon, but to truly become, that well-rounded bourbon guy or gal, excuse me, you have to appreciate the ryes as well.
Yeah. Not a fan.
You can be not a fan, but you have
got
to be able
I got a brand new bottle of Sazerac over there.
A good rye as well, because they are definitely they have a different taste profile. But I
can have an appreciation for a high rye more so than just a straight rye.
Yeah.
There's a couple of high ryes that I like, but I'll stick to the wheat.
It's definitely a smoother drink for sure.
Yeah.
I think, what is this one? This one's a weeded, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this one's a good one. I like it. What else you got? What else we hadn't talked.
We hadn't talked any college football.
I mean,
Oregon.
We lost our steam a little bit.
Bye, Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, but no.
I mean, the truth was always there. It was always there, and we knew the real Oregon was going to come back. We knew that real Oregon was going to come back.
The Ducks are gone. UCLA's gone.
UCLA's gone, but they got a chance to take USC out.
Oh, they could be a spoiler, but they ain't getting in the playoffs.
No.
The playoffs are down to, you got the 4 undefeateds.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, Michigan, and Ohio State, they all look like the best 3 teams right now. Of course, Michigan and Ohio State got to play each other.
TCU's defense.
TCU, well, yeah, but, I mean...
I know that they got the Big 12 hanging over their head, but
they still can run the table. If they run the table, they're in.
They almost.
I think right now
they have to run the table.
I think right now you got TCU running the table, and Georgia running the table, and that's 2 of your playoff teams. You got Ohio State and Michigan playing each other. The winner of that is in.
Right.
Then you're going to look at the loser of that. You're going to look at Tennessee, if they can win out. And
With no championship game.
With no championship. Clemson, I think, is already out. Maybe. Maybe UNC if they win the ACC, but.
Well, I mean, if UNC wins the ACC, they become a one-loss
ACC champ.
So team that has a case.
They're in the talk.
They're in the talk.
Case. USC is the only Pac-12 team that
has a case.
Pac-10. Is it Pac-10 or 12?
12.
I don't know why I have so much trouble.
Because it's West
Coast football.
We're either drunk or we're asleep by the time their games come on,
or both.
Or usually, it could be both. Or we just switch off and watch Seinfeld or
Saturday Night Live.
Seinfeld, Saturday Night Live,
Weekend Update,
Andy Griffith. I mean, I watched almost anything over Pac-12 football. Yeah. I'm serious. I ain't lying. And I like Utah.
Yeah.
I like Utah. I think we both picked Washington as a potential upset special over Oregon because we knew that.
Yep.
I don't really care so much for Dolce and Gabbana.
USC is still in the top. I mean, of course, and they also got Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams. I mean, there is
Jordan
some
Addison.
Yeah, and Jordan Addison. Yeah, there is some legitimacy there.
Yeah, they have some.
So you got, like I said, you got the 4 undefeated teams right now that are still in contention: TCU, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia.
Tennessee's in the catbird seat.
Tennessee's sitting right there knocking. Their only loss is to Georgia.
And let's play devil's advocate here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just throw some hypotheticals out. Let's say LSU upsets Georgia in the SEC championship game. What then?
Chaos. I mean, LSU would have a win over Bama, who's currently ranked, 8th now? I think we moved up to 8th.
Something like that.
They'd have a win over number 1 Georgia. I mean, how do you leave them out?
2 losses, 2 bad losses. One bad loss.
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be some chaos.
Now let's do this. Let's just say Georgia wins. Ohio wins. TCU wins.
They're all in.
Michigan, Tennessee, 1 loss each. Tennessee's in, Michigan's out.
Well, you got Tennessee and Michigan, and then you got, say, if you got a 1-loss UNC ACC champ and a 1-loss USC.
Oh, it's
Pac-12 champ.
To me, it's easily down to Tennessee, Michigan.
It depends on, of course, Tennessee didn't put up.
Michigan's resume is kind of ugly.
Yeah. Tennessee.
Honestly, I mean, Michigan's best win is Penn State.
I think Tennessee would get the nod over Michigan.
I do too.
But would
Ohio
would a 1-loss UNC or a 1-loss USC get the? I would probably give a 1-loss USC just because of
not having 2 SEC teams.
Right, and because you do have a legitimate quarterback, a legitimate coach. I would probably, and you got a championship to be the tiebreaker.
Tennessee's got a potential first-round draft pick.
But they don't have that. Well, so does USC.
I know. I'm just saying. They got it too. Though.
But what I'm saying is the tiebreaker between Tennessee and USC. And I've been, I've been a supporter of Tennessee all along. I jumped them to number 1 the week, before anybody else did.
Once you're going to break the tie with
them.
The
tiebreaker would be the conference championship.
Yeah. But the conference championship's not supposed to mean nothing.
No, it is. No, it does. It does. That is if you listen to the committee
way down the list.
If you listen to the committee, they
it can be a determining factor.
Yep.
But it's not a priority factor.
No, it's not a be all end all. But if you got 2 evenly teams that you're trying to decide between, and one's got a conference championship and the other one doesn't, they're going to go with the conference champion.
Maybe.
Historically.
Yeah.
That's what they've said in the past.
Does the SEC bias come into that?
Yeah. Like I said, that's what they've said in the past.
Is there an SEC bias? Is it really a bias? Or is it, in fact, earned respect?
I've talked so much, I let my cigar go out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
You know what? I mean, it's been a good discussion.
I mean, Georgia's clearly
Georgia. I mean,
number one.
They impressed me against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Hell, we were even drinking shots with our Georgia fans
this weekend
and barking.
that was the Arkansas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Georgia, Arkansas.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this weekend
right.
we were supporting Georgia.
Yeah, I mean we might as well. I mean I've got no reason not to support the Bulldogs if
I've got great friends that I went to high school with that are Georgia alumni. I've got a little brother that's a Georgia alumni.
Right.
So I got nothing against Georgia.
No.
They look good, but I think there's two teams in the Big Ten that could have something to say about the championship this year.
Yeah, Michigan's got the defense to play. Their offense is sputtery at times. But they definitely have the defense. Of course, last year they had good defense too.
If this was NFL, and you got going through the playoffs, and you have to go to the other team's location, I think Michigan would be set up to be a successful. And because usually in the NFL, when you get into December, you need a running game and defense.
Right.
College is different because you're going to go to all these neutral fields.
Right.
The weather is taken out of the equation
until 25.
Well, yeah, then it'll be a little different. But I'm saying right now,
we're going to see some SEC teams go up to the Big House.
This would be a great year for the expanded playoffs because all of what we just talked about.
Because we could still be getting in.
Well, but all the other ones we just talked about that are now on the outside looking in. It would be because you got a lot of.
Has it been like this for the last 5 years and we just didn't notice because we were always in the top 4?
I don't think it has. I think there was a clear separation between the top 2, top 4, more so than now, where you might have maybe 3 that are separated, but then the next 9, or at least the next 6.
I mean, we thought this year there was basically us and Georgia and the rest, and now as the dust has settled. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just wondering, have we been that sheltered as Bama fans?
Yeah, there definitely could have been some blinders on.
It was never a discussion that were we ever going to be outside the top 4.
Right. But I do think with NIL and transfer portal, it has watered it down a little bit more, and it has blurred that line from 3 to, I don't know that I want to say 12, but at least 3 to 8 on any given Saturday. And you put these on a neutral field, because you put the Alabama LSU game and the Alabama Tennessee game on a neutral field,
I think
might be a different outcome.
I think we're probably undefeated.
So,
of course, we're undefeated with a team that has a lot of holes.
Right. Yeah.
So maybe this was the best thing. That's a discussion that I've always had too. We're talking about you're talking about NIL, everything diluting down a little bit more. But I've always had the discussion about geography in recruiting.
Yeah.
And the migration of people moving to the South, and the people moving to the Atlanta area and the Georgia area, the boom. And the coincidental boom of Georgia recruiting. Mm-hmm. Georgia high school football has boomed. I mean, Georgia high school football 10 years ago was not in the top 5. Now you're talking about per capita. Georgia high school might be number 1.
Yeah, per capita.
Per capita. Well,
it's
that's the true.
It's not number 1.
That's the true number.
Right. Number 1 would be Texas and California, and then Florida. But they're all
Florida
bigger.
Per capita has been better than Texas and California for decades.
Absolutely. They've been number 1.
Yeah.
But like you said, now Georgia's
is
right there with Florida.
And Alabama's in that in that bottom tier, you know, because of people migrating from all different parts. And now you have a lot of California people moving to Texas politically, moving to Texas. And so we're gonna see parity across the board because of people migrating from different areas. It's always been an interesting topic for me.
I think we're about an hour in.
Cool.
So maybe we should wrap up this portion.
Yeah, let's do it.
And head over to the bar. We got, in honor of November,
Turkey Month, Turkey Day coming up.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. We're going to do a couple of wild turkeys this week and next week. Leading up to Thanksgiving. So let's go to the bar. Yeah. Let's taste these 2 wild turkeys and we'll rate that shit. See you at the bar.
3, 2, are you ready?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kolby's Bar, and it's time to rate that shit. This is the segment I think we like the most.
Oh, yeah. It's time to taste some bourbons.
And
we got our own unique rating system.
Yes, we do.
Why don't you tell them about it?
1 through 4. 1, brown bag. Not our favorite. We're almost ashamed and embarrassed you have it in your collection. We don't want you to serve it to us.
Nope.
If you do, we probably talk about you. I'm just kidding. 2, it's getting a little bit better, but we like to call that a mixer. That's something that you're probably gonna maybe make an old fashioned out of, maybe make your favorite bourbon drink, some Coke, etc. Number 3, it's moving up the scale. We like to call that on the rocks. Might be a little high proof. Want to dilute it down. And last but not least, the tried and true, the way we like to drink our bourbons, and that is 4, neat. And that's how we rate our bourbon.
Well, you know, it's November. And the best part about November?
Turkey.
Thanksgiving.
Football.
Eating turkey, watching football. So,
and some bourbon.
And you know, we like to try to come up with themes. So for November, we had to go wild turkey. So we're gonna do a couple wild turkeys this week. We're gonna do a couple more wild turkeys next week, and then we're gonna eat some turkey, watch some football, and drink some bourbon.
I'm gonna sleep a little.
Well, you gotta take a nap in between games.
A little nap. A little bourbon, a little turkey.
So we got 2 wild turkeys, and this actually, the first one we're gonna do is called Long Branch. It's a wild turkey, but it's a collaboration between All Right.
Oh, okay.
That's 2 weeks in a row we've mentioned
Matthew
McConaughey on the podcast. So this is a collaboration between Matthew McConaughey and a wild turkey master distiller, Eddie Russell. So
Russell's Reserve?
That's who that is, yes.
Yep, gotcha.
So this is an 8-year-old.
I'm studying.
It's an 8-year-old bourbon.
Nice.
Costs you about $35 to pick it up.
Not
Long
bad.
Branch is actually a ranch in Texas. You can actually go there and do a Long Branch experience. So this is a collaboration between, like I said, McConaughey, who's a Texas boy.
Sounds like we're
and
going
Kentucky
to Long
bourbon.
Branch for the experience because
That's
he
right.
likes the bourbon.
All right. This is 86 proof.
It's on the low end.
Like I said, it's a little bit lower than what we typically like, but we'll see.
$35.
But it is aged 8 years.
Yeah, that's
which
intriguing.
is impressive. The aroma is supposed to be a caramel, vanilla, and your favorite, toffee.
Yeah, I'm not a big toffee fan. Color's a little weak for 8 years.
Yeah, it is a little
goldish.
I don't even know if I'd call that amber.
That's a little gold for 8 years.
Yep.
Not a lot of leg to it.
No,
it's $35. I don't normally.
You don't really expect a whole lot.
I do get a little nuttiness, a little
sweet toffee.
Yeah, a little toffee, a little like a
swirling around, waking up.
Chocolatey, nutty.
Now your taste is supposed to be a floral honeysuckle with a little caramel, and then on the end a little fruity with maybe like a pear. and some prunes.
Some prunes. Now,
you know it's a dried plum, right?
prunes. I mean, am I gonna shit my britches after I drink Long Branch?
Hopefully not until we're done taping.
I'm definitely getting some floral, some fruitiness to it. Not a whole lot of hug.
It is
86 proof.
Yeah, definitely that finish. It's a quick finish. There's no burn. I mean, it's got good flavor.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not a bad taste at all. Not a bad taste at all. There's just no viscous. It's not thick. It's not coating my mouth.
Yeah, there's no finish to it. It's like there's a taste, but not a finish.
I got you.
Which is about what I would expect from an 86 proof, $35 bottle.
Yeah.
It's tasty. I mean, I ain't mad about the way it tastes.
I mean, I don't think there's much you can do with it, though. I mean, I'm afraid if you even put a splash of Coke in it, you're going to taste Coke.
Right. Now, I mean, you about got to drink it neat, but I'm not going to rate it neat.
Oh, no. It's clearly going to be, for $35, you're going to go with 2?
That's a dose.
I mean, I'm thinking less than a dose, but
I wouldn't brown bag that. That is way better than some of the shit we've brown bagged.
I know, but for $35, I mean, I could get a Cooper's Craft,
A Makers,
I could get
Woodford,
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but all those I would rate high. I ain't mad about the taste, so I'm not gonna brown bag it. So to me, that automatically defaults it to a 2.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely got good flavor.
It's got good flavor.
Got good flavor up front. There's not a whole lot of flavor on the back end.
No, there's no finish.
Stick with you.
Yeah, there's no finish.
I got a little bit of nuttiness to it, a little floral, not a whole lot of sweetness. I mean, just kind of boom, done. Yeah, 2. I'll go 2 on that.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, it's not bad.
No. Like I said, I would drink it.
$40 with a brown
Oh
bag.
yeah, yeah.
But for $35.
Yeah. Any more than that, definitely not. And it's a Matthew McConaughey. I mean, just because it's Matthew McConaughey, it's worth having in your collection.
Yeah.
But
if we had a 5th rating, it'd be That's kind of how I feel about Long Branch. It's nothing to worry about. I mean, I just throw it up on your shelf and serve it to the guests you don't really like.
Oh boy, how do I follow that? Let's follow that with I thought we were going to do a rare breed, but apparently we're going to do a Kentucky Spirit
Select. It's a
single barrel select.
Single barrel select.
Yes, it is. It is 101 proof. So they actually make these single barrel selects. They start with their Wild Turkey 101, and then finish them off in the barrels. So that's why it's a Wild Turkey 101, but this is a single barrel select.
That's powerful stuff, right?
Well, I'm just looking down here, and my notes didn't update, so because I had originally done the notes on the rare breed.
Yeah, I messed them up. I thought I had a rare breed,
which we will do next week.
But it was the single barrel select that I got talked
into.
So
we'll bring you the rare breed next week. This also is an 8-year-old. It's aged 8 years, just like the Long Branch is. It's supposed to give you some vanillas, some caramels.
And this one's $60.
Yes, this is a $60.
So this one's
Wild
a little
Turkey.
bit more
So we
thinking bourbon.
We expect more out of this Kentucky Spirit because it is $60 and 101 proof. So there should be a little bit better finish, better nose,
better legs. Definitely some nice legs to it.
Much sweeter nose.
Yeah, got a little hug. Got the hug off of it. Get a little honey, a little nuttiness.
Yep.
I want to say I'm getting a little caramel on the back end too.
A little vanilla, a little caramel.
Yeah, a little vanilla spice, a little caramel.
That's pretty good.
That's real good.
That's pretty good.
That's real good. I like it.
I would call that a medium finish because it doesn't quite have that full burn.
Yeah.
But it definitely had more of a finish than the Long Branch
Long
did.
Branch, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, I could definitely feel the 100 proof out of it. 101 proof.
Right.
Very flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that bourbon.
Yeah, that's a 3 for me.
That's a solid 3. I mean, I could clearly drink that neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
With no problems. Yeah. But I think
for our rating system,
I think
we're gonna call that on the rocks.
I think if you dropped you a little rock in that would be beautiful. Hell, I even think you could bump that to a mixer. That'd be a wonderful old fashioned.
It would
be a wonderful old fashioned.
I have a feeling on next week's podcast, this is what I'm going to be drinking during the first part of the show.
Oh, so you're saying I'm leaving it?
Yeah, that's staying here.
Okay, he likes that one.
Yeah, it's not quite a neat for me. It's not quite a 4, but it is. That's got good flavor.
Yeah, that's a good bourbon. That was worth the $60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one. So, just to recap, the Long Branch, we gave it a 2. The Kentucky Spirit, we gave it a 3. And next week, I know we're going to do the Rare Breed and maybe just the 101. We'll see what's available to us.
Figure that out. Definitely going to hunt for the Rare Breed.
But yeah, we definitely got to do a Rare Breed next week. Because the Rare Breed is actually a blend of a 6, an 8, and a 12-year-old wild turkey.
Yeah. So, yeah, I actually thought I don't know why I thought I bought the Rare. Because I've been wanting to buy the Rare Breed, but I got talked into that one because that one was a
single barrel select.
It was a single barrel, and it was...
No, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that one.
Recommended to me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you got that one. It definitely is good.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, this is a good one, man. Long Branch is good. I mean, I don't let our rating affect you. I mean, Long Branch, I just think
if we give something anything other than a 1, it's worth owning.
It's worth
owning and drinking.
Yeah, Long Branch is good. I mean, it's especially good if you don't like high proof.
Yeah.
If you don't really want
something.
Yeah,
it's not quite in what we like. We typically prefer the 90 to 100 or even some 105s, 110s.
Yeah, there's been some.
But we have typically not liked anything below a 90 proof.
That's it.
Or I won't say we didn't like it, but we just
not our normal taste profile for us. For sure.
I mean, it's good. I would definitely have a bottle of it in my collection, and
yeah, you definitely have one. You definitely have one now because we didn't really make a dent in it.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
Sweet. Unscripted, man.
Unscripted. A good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
We threw out the outline. We're just gonna kind of
come in
here and just talk, just chit chat.
I think that's gonna be what we do going forward. We'll bring back some of our popular segments like Dis or Respect or our lists.
Yeah, just our
rapid fire type of things.
For sure. We're always going to talk football. Oh, yeah. Everything's going to center around football, but we're just going to, rather than regurgitate a bunch of stats and recap a bunch of games that most people already know about.
Yeah, we don't want to give y'all the information you already have.
Yeah,
we want to put our spin on things, and
we want to brainwash you to our opinions because that's what counts. That's what matters. I want everyone to think like me. But I need some.
You're empty. You're gonna have to get some of that.
Yeah, I am. Sorry, Long Branch.
Get some of that Kentucky Spirit.
This Kentucky Spirit is what I'm gonna roll with. That stuff was pretty good.
I did like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Wild Turkey line so far is not up to par with the Old Forester.
Yeah.
But
I would put that on par with
maybe like Prohibition.
I mean, that Prohibition's good, man. The 1910 to 26.
No, not the 19. That ain't touching the 1910 or the Statesman.
Not the Statesman.
Maybe the Bottled and Bond. The Old Forester Bottled and Bond.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I would definitely roll with Old Forester over that. For sure.
I would.
Yeah.
I would.
I know we're getting a little bit long, but you know what we need to do? We need to do like a top 5 of our economic. You know, maybe our favorite bourbons under 40.
Or our favorite $20 bourbon, $30, 40, 50, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we should come up with that list and maybe put them up here and do a blind taste test in front of the podcast.
We can do that.
We coming up with stuff. Anyway.
We're unscripted.
Unscripted, man. You never know what we're going to do. He's smoking a stogie tonight.
And as soon as we wrap up, I'm going to finish that stogie.
That's right.
I just didn't want it to interfere with my bourbon tasting over here.
Bourbon Buzz and Ballin.
That's right. Join us. Well, let me put our media up there.
He's heavy-handed. Bourbon Buzzed and Ballin. We got all the social media.
TikTok, Instagram,
YouTube, email,
Spotify, Apple, email,
Bourbon Buzz and Ballin,
PR
at gmail.com.
And no G in Ballin.
No G in Ballin. Join us, episode 18
18
next week.
I feel like we just started this a couple weeks ago.
I do. 18 in, man. We're old pros now.
I know it.
Sweet.
Cheers.
See you then. Cheers.